Well, ladies and gentlemen, it is that coveted time to visit with our good friend Ron the Car Guy from Westside Auto Pros to teach you a little something about your vehicle that you may or may not have known about, but he'll clarify it nonetheless. Hello, Ronald. How are you?
I am great this morning. How about you?
Just peachy, especially with the weather we're having.
You know, it was nice to drive to work with the window down and the sunroof open. It felt great this morning.
Right, but unfortunately, we're also heading into that season, especially towards harvest season, where we start seeing some a few issues, I'll say, with our windshield.
Yeah, car windshields, construction season.
Yeah, that's
Bounces
true.
the rocks
That's
up.
true.
Yeah.
And how many times have you seen a rock bounce on the road in front of you from off of a truck, and you watch it in slow motion as it comes right towards your windshield, and you know it's going to hit it, and sure enough, it does.
Yep, I watched that one time I was driving to Kansas City, and I watched the rock hit the windshield and create a chip. And I mean, there's nothing you can do. You just keep driving.
Right.
And so the rest of my drive, I just watched the crack work its way all the way across the windshield.
No.
That's even worse. All right,
Yeah.
so we want to break it down, what that means, and do we repair it? Do we replace? So what are you giving us advice on today?
And that's what I want to talk about. Yeah, what do? You get you get a rock chip or small damage on your windshield. I mean, should you put a whole windshield in or should you have it repaired?
I'm sure there's some parameters.
There is. Where it is, how long if it's a crack, how long the crack is, and stuff like that. But you're always better off trying to save the piece of glass that's in there.
Why is that?
And especially if it hasn't been replaced before. It's
Right. The original.
It is hard to duplicate original glass. Very few places, they use a glass that fits your car and it works fine. It's not a total negative, but that factory glass just seems to fit better. The clarity, the strength of it. I just personally think it's better. And more importantly, everything was put in when it was new under ideal conditions. Mm-hmm. And what people need to realize is that windshield that's in your car, it's glued in. That's what holds it.
Right. That's how
there
it stays
isn't
in there.
clamps or bolts or anything like that.
It's glue.
Yeah, they put glue around there, put the windshield in, let it cure, and that's what holds it. And that's done under factory conditions. So when your windshield gets removed, you've got to go in with a tool and cut the glue, take the old windshield out, clean everything up, and then put new glue in and reset it. And maybe you're doing it in 93-degree sunlight, or maybe you're doing it and it's 40 degrees outside. The conditions just aren't ideal or duplicated ideal. And more importantly, I don't know if you've ever seen a car where it's like rusting around the edge of the windshield. Mm-hmm. That happens when you cut the glue out. Now you're cutting into the metal or the paint, and if that's not sealed up properly, you'll start getting some rust
So you
problems.
expose bare metal.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm just a fan of let's fix what's there if possible. It's not always possible. Sometimes you have to replace it.
Right.
But that's my advice: is if it can be fixed, fix it.
What's the largest crack you should fix as opposed to replace?
It depends on the technician that's fixing it and the process that they have. The system that we use and the training that my guys have, we can fix a crack up to 14 inches long.
That's that long.
Yeah. Now, with that said, on a car windshield,
Right.
I probably wouldn't fix a crack that's 14 inches long. I mean, that's a lot of the windshield. But think of all the other stuff out there. I mean, look at a motorhome. Mm-hmm. Look at how big the windshield on a motorhome is bigger than any window in my house.
Yeah.
And that's a lot of money.
Right.
So, depending where the crack is, I'm going to try to save that crack.
Okay, got it.
All right, and how soon should we be repairing something in our windshield?
As quickly as you possibly can. And the reason being, in our process, I mean, we can go in, we can flush out and clean out the crack or the chip and then, repair it. But you don't always get all the moisture or any contaminants out of there. And so the quicker you fix it, the less noticeable it's going to be that it was fixed because there's nothing trapped within that glass.
Now, why should we fix it at all? What if we're just used to seeing that chip or the crack and we're like, you know what, I can live with that?
Are you speaking from experience?
No, maybe. Well, all right.
Did you look at her car on the way in?
I think we fixed some stuff on our windshield.
There's not the first time that you fixed my windshield. Yeah.
You know, it compromises the integrity of the windshield. Which can be a safety issue in an accident. If you've got a crack, I mean, it's going to break there, where maybe before it wasn't going to break. It's laminated glass. So depending on how big the break is, it's against the law.
Okay.
to drive.
That'd be
with.
one thing to consider.
Yeah. I mean, not that everybody abides
Now,
by
do you
every
fix
law.
cracks and chips no matter where they are in the windshield, or are there certain areas that you don't want to fix
There's
them?
certain areas, especially with cracks. If you look at where your driver's windshield wiper goes,
Line of sight?
Yeah, we're not supposed to fix a crack within there. Chips, depending on what kind of a chip it is. I mean, that's the majority of the repairs that we do, rock chips and small breaks. I mean,
And how pricey is it to have these repairs done?
well, great that you should ask. we have a KCWI TV23 special.
Really?
Yeah, we'll fix up to 4 chips, not cracks, but chips.
And it's an April special, too. How about that? Yeah.
Wow, this is going to
Way
go
to
for a
go.
long time.
You guys got to wait a little bit. We'll honor it in July and August as well.
Okay,
We're gonna
good.
go through August.
Somebody named April came up with this idea.
That's
so
right.
That's April's
Yeah,
special.
I think there is an April that works
There
here.
is, yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Good job, April. $23. We'll fix up to 4 chips on your car. A lot of times, insurance will waive. They'll pay for it and
Right.
waive it. If you have full coverage insurance,
Excellent.
they'll waive any deductible to fix it. And we're connected with all the major insurance companies. We can certainly.
And how
do it
long
that.
does it cost? If I say I have a chip in my windshield, Ron, when can you fix it?
We can fix it that day.
Okay.
And give us 30, 40 minutes. We've got to cure it with a UV light and stuff like that. But yeah, April did a great job coming up with that.
And speaking
That's
from experience, they have a great guy who gets the job done too, and it lasts beautifully. All right, Westside Auto Pros is where you need to go if you want more information on this or any other situation with your car. 515-225-9090. Google them, folks. You can't miss them. Westside Auto Pros. Ron, thank you so much for joining us today. And don't forget about that special April KCWI 4 chips, $23 through August. We'll be right back.
RonTheCarGuy.com.
There we go.